Guys, welcome to part two of our Supercoach preview. Today we're getting started with our team reveals, so hope you get a good look at our teams. You probably won't be seeing it much on the Supercoach account. Cheers, guys, enjoy.
All right, this is the moment we've been waiting for. I'll hold off. I'll let you boys decide who wants to reveal their side. I was first last year, so it's only fair. Das or Zave?
I'll start because I'm pretty sure you both see my team anyways. There's only been a little bit of change, but
Again, we will most likely upload these sides onto the Supercoach account. I know Das already has. No?
I'm not doing it anymore. Too many
Not
people are
anymore.
copying me.
Not anymore. Yeah,
Not
that's what I
anymore.
meant to say. Not anymore. Just the preseason update.
There we are. Too many people are copying me, so
Yeah.
I don't want to do that anymore. So obviously, rookies are pretty much placeholders at this point in time, but that's the sort of formula, if you want, that I want to go with. I'm not too keen. I was going to go Ridley. I was going to have Ridley in the back line as well. But I prefer Brayshaw over Ridley, I think. And Ridley's, I don't think he's going to be too dominant. If anything, I'll go Dawson to Ridley. But yeah,
Just
I think it's pretty set for the moment.
Just quickly, I see Bazo down there for the Eagles, which made me think Greg Clark on in about 8-10 weeks through the season could be a nice pickup.
Yeah, no, Greg Clark was going to be in a lot of Supercoach sides, but obviously went down with that injury, so he's not going to be at this point in time.
Yeah.
Bazo, I don't think he'll play early, so I just have him as a placeholder because there's not many forward prospects yet.
Yeah. I don't mind it. The first thing I noticed is that your forward line is completely different to mine.
If anything, I only just made this move before the podcast. I moved Trelaw to Dunkley, so I had a lot of spare space.
Yeah.
Um, almost enough to go Bruce R3. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
One that sticks out to me is the Andrew Brayshaw. So, 584k is someone I'd probably avoid, but you spoke about him as being a bit of a POD earlier, and I could see him playing well, but it's definitely a risk.
There's not gonna be much Fife early, and particularly not in the midfield.
Yeah.
So I think he'll step up, and I need a couple picks that are a bit different because obviously I'm on the second account of the Supercoach. I'm getting a ton of teams in. I've probably seen upward of 60 teams, and they're all so similar. Everyone's got the same 20 players, and the rookies are just different. So I need a few different point of differences because you need a bit of change from everyone else, or otherwise you'll just be middle of the pack. So that's why I've gone Brayshaw, and Butters is sort of one too, but I feel like Butters should be much more owned than what he is. See Van Ruin's.
Yeah.
You've got him as a placeholder, don't you, Zave?
Possibly. No, yeah, all my rookies are placeholders
Yeah.
other than Francis at the moment, but he might end up getting moved as well because, as I said before, I don't really know much about all of these rookies. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, hopefully some of them can get games. But all my premiums are pretty well set at the moment. I might end up changing a few of them. One move that I did just make was I had Gresham in my team until about just before we started this podcast, and I just traded him out for Will Brodie because apparently he's playing pretty well. I haven't seen any stats, but he's a bit of a beast in the midfield. He's one of my favourite players in the league. I've seen it ever since he kicked like 3 goals playing for Gold Coast in a preseason match. I thought he was going to break out every year, but he struggled to break into the Gold Coast team for some reason.
Yeah.
Hopefully, now that he's got a fresh club, hopefully he can get into that midfield and really throw around his weight a bit.
Yeah, just a couple things, especially with Adam Tomlinson back. I think Van Rooyen might struggle
Yeah.
for
No,
first years. Yeah,
I
and
play.
also Jordan Clark for the Dockers. What are you seeing about him at the moment? Another mid-pricer could explode. It really just depends. Again, like a lot of the other players, where he is primarily positioned.
If he explodes, he won't explode into the top 8 of any position, so I'm not too stressed about him.
Yeah, I agree. I would avoid Jordan Clark. I was just actually reading an article on him, and they said the halfback flank looks like he's where he's going to play this year. And I don't think he's going to get that many kick-ins, given that they do have Luke Ryan and a few other options. So I would avoid him myself.
Yep. All right.
Would you like to explain your Taranto pick? I'm interested in that one.
Yeah.
I think Taranto is just a very good player, and once I saw him come into the forward line, I thought he'd be a lock for me this year, which he is at the moment. I think he's a really good. I think he's a very good shot at being the number one forward this year. I think he can average upwards of 100, maybe 105, 110, and I think at the DPP spot, I think there's a 0% chance that he won't be a top 6 forward. So I think he's just a pretty safe pick.
And Gawn Grundy, is there a reason to go on over Darcy, or do you have any weigh in on that?
Not so much. I think Grundy's got to be the first pick ruck in every team. Myself, I think he had a couple of down years. He missed the Australian team last year, but I think he's an absolute beast. And just the way he plays his footy, he's going to get and win a lot of the ball. And I think we can see him get back to his best this year, and hopefully get a bit up the scores and be the number one ruck. But at the moment, I have Gawn. We'll see. I'm looking forward to watching the next Melbourne preseason match. We'll see how Luke Jackson plays, how much ruck time he gets. So depending on the split of Gawn ruck forward, then I might change it to Darcy. But at the moment, I'm sticking with Gawn.
Yeah, that's my concern with Gawn. It's just his potential forward time with Luke Jackson developing.
Although we did see, what was it, in the prelim final, was it?
Yeah. Running rampant.
I don't think that's something we'll see going forward.
I don't think it's very sustainable, no.
Something that's probably most different between my team this year and previous years is the amount of mid prices I have. Normally, I've never had more than 2, but I have Brody, Canelio.
Forward line, yeah.
Obviously, so I have a lot of them this year. I think they're all really solid. We've seen Berry average 90. I talked about Canelio being a lock earlier with multiple seasons averaging over 100. Will Brody, if he does play and does get that midfield role, he's going to score very well as well at 220k. I think he's, and with the DPP available, it's a very good option. Sicily I'm a little bit concerned about him. I don't really know what his role is going to be at the moment, but if he does get that intercepting role and does play well. But I think Jayath and even Jarman Impey played a little bit of that similar position, in particular Jayath last year. So, but if he does get it, he could still be a good option.
All right, so here is my side. Due to some technical difficulties, I have Das screen sharing it for me, but that's the defensive line and the midfield line. I'll let you boys analyse it for a second.
It's not very Dylan-like, to be completely honest.
I know. I thought it might surprise you.
You've loaded the midfield, which I do like, but I'm worried for your forward line. We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
But I think, me and Zave had a talk about Caldwell the other day, and you convinced me Berry's probably a better option.
True.
So, yeah, but that's honestly personal preference at this point.
Yeah. Well, I had Caldwell last year, and he had 74 through 2.5 quarters, I believe, before he tore that hamstring in his first match. So the potential is definitely there. Just, again, whether or not he's sustainable.
There's a few picks I'm a little bit concerned about. Obviously, I spoke a little bit earlier in the episode about Brody Kemp, and I'm not sure he's in Carlton 22 right now, but we'll wait and see. And then the other one is Luke Parker. So Luke Parker is my single favourite player in the AFL, and I very much like him. But I find it hard to look at your team and pick Parker over Lachie Neale when he's 50k more expensive and doesn't score as well.
I think he's about 8k more expensive. Oh no, sorry, Lachie Neale's 543, isn't he? Yeah.
543. Parker's 591. So yeah, I find that a difficult pick to make, and I wouldn't do that myself.
Yeah.
But it's doing, so it's fine.
If you scroll to the forward line, Dubs.
Yeah. Hold on, just quickly on Lions. I'm a little bit worried about Lions because in the practice match you played a fair bit of forward.
Yeah, no, I did say that. I haven't amended anything yet, but I did have that in mind, so I can always rectify that. There's the forward line.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's where all your money's gone.
So I was going to say the one other one in the midfield was the Parker. Was Paddy Cripps. So both Darcy and I have him. hasn't had a great 2 years, 97 and 83 average, but the years before that, 117 and 119. So if he's healthy, he could average 110 for over 100k cheaper, which you can spend in your forward line, which could definitely use some help.
Yeah, the forward line's definitely deprived, but I made the mistake last year of not having the big midfielders. So I thought if I can attack them early, then I can always fix the forward line later on.
Yeah, it's not a bad option either because usually I find that forward line premiums are the hardest to
Yeah.
pick. They
Yeah.
sort of emerge throughout the year as to who it is going to be. You don't really come into the season knowing who's going to be the top six. So I do love Taron Thomas, but I'm not sure if he's certified
Okay.
enough to start with him over, say, a Dusty if you can afford 40k more.
Yeah.
So that 40k could come from Parker to Neil. So that'd be my change there to get one guaranteed top six in Dusty, and then if Taron Thomas does become good through the year, obviously you can bring him in. But I don't hate it, to be honest.
I feel like I've defeated expectations here. Oh.
I think this team becomes infinitely better if you switch Parker and Taron Thomas with Neil and Martin.
All right.
Very similar prices.
But yeah, I feel like it's not a bad option because Cornelio and Gresham could both definitely push for the top six.
Yeah.
So if you get Dusty in there, then that is 3 premiums you've got in there for the price of really only 2.
Yeah.
So I do like that.
It might even be a switch from Jared Lyons if he is playing forward line predominantly.
Yeah, but if you're going Jared Lyons, you might as well just like swing him to a Oliver or a Bont or something like that. I like your midfield other than Neil is a slightly better option than Parker, but I still like Parker as a pick.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, I do like the format of the 5 mids.
4 mids and 2 mid prices in Cripps and Berries too.
I wouldn't count. I'm counting Cripps as a 5th for me.
And I've got 5 in the midfield as well, but then I still have Taranto and Dusty in the forward line.
Yeah, I've got 3. Yeah, my format is 3 in the back, 5 midfield, obviously the 2 rucks, and I've got 3 forwards. So I've got Dunkley, Martin, and Butters.
So I have 4 in the back line, 5 in the midfield, and then 2 in the forward line, Taranto and Martin.
So yeah, I feel like in general there's only really about 10 premiums you can have. So it's just a matter of playing around with that, how you want, 12 including rucks. Yeah, so just how you want that to all look.
Yeah, no, but I was expecting a lot of backlash, and I've emerged with not as much backlash, so I'm pretty happy with that. But
it's not as different to usual. I don't know if you're really expecting it to be terrible.
The only one that I think has to change is you need to get a better F1, I think, because obviously Taron Thomas isn't totally proven, and as Darcy said before, if you can get someone like Dusty in, or even Dunkley, Taranto like I have, I think all of them are better options.
Yeah, well, this is the first of many Supercoach episodes. We'll probably take a 2-week hiatus maybe until it is the week before. We might not even need to. But on the Supercoach account, we are starting up a Supercoach competition. It's
we're doing a couple.
$5, $10, $20, possibly $50 to enter. But if you are eager to join that, I'll put the link in the description, or just direct message us on Instagram. We do reply back to most of them. So again, put that link in the description. If you want to order your Footy Beanies, I'll put that link in the description. And of course, check out the sts.podcast Instagram. Save is running that. But thanks for another episode. It's good to see all the boys together. I'm extremely excited for this season. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching Supercoach Series Episode 1. Plenty more to come. Catch you later.